folks. I'm Jason Reeves, and I did my research over suspension training and knee stability. The handout that I'm passing around right now, it has a little blurb about suspension training, but it also has some space there at the bottom. It also has a space at the bottom so you can write a few notes as we go along for things that you may have questions on, or you may want further understanding, or you just something that you learned. So, first question I'll pose to y'all. Let's look at the essentials. What is suspension training? Does anybody have an idea?
You hang your foot somewhere?
You hang your foot somewhere. That's
No, hanging from somewhere.
Hanging from somewhere, yeah. Oh, that's a hang your foot. Yeah, you do hang your foot from somewhere. Yeah, hanging from somewhere. Anybody?
Trying to build your core.
Try to build your core. That was interesting. Full-blown jump. Go back to it. Anybody else? Build your core? Got anything?
Utilizing your body weight?
Utilizing body weight. There we go. Not bad answers. Has anybody used it before?
Pretty sure.
2, 3, 4, 5, few of you? How'd you like it?
It's hard.
Hard? Not bad?
Used to.
You'll get used to it, right? So that's what first thing is first is, when did this start coming out? About 1862, a guy of Dr. Schroeder, DGM Schroeder, invented a pangymnasticon. Yes, he was German. So he invented this little device right here. There's his crude drawing from 1863. This is the first time we took Olympic rings and we put stirrups. You notice that. A few years later, they started developing this in physical education classes for boys. This was about 1866. Okay? Look at where we've gone from there, right? How many of y'all get to use this back in PE? Do y'all remember doing this? Not very many, right? Availability for suspension training. It's kind of a increasing in popularity, isn't it, y'all? I mean, we have now dedicated training facilities out there where we use suspension training only. Anybody heard the TRX training facilities? Yes? Yeah, those are pretty big fitness centers. 3 of the major types of fitness, of suspension training, are the AirFit Trainer Pro, the Artist Strength Bandit Loop XT, and the ever so popular TRX. Here's a picture of first one, the AirFit Trainer Pro, you see right there. What's unique about this, which I really found unique, I've never personally got to use it, but there is a pulley system right there at the top that helps aid in this rotational force. It really is a unique quality. The next one here, Artist Strength Bandit Loop XT. I actually have a representation of this. It's my personal favorite, honestly. You can see the thicker grip, spot to hang your foot, and of course you're suspended from whatever apparatus you want to suspend it from. Okay? And of course everybody's popular one, the TRX, and that's actually an actual photo from a TRX training facility. So experience, why am I interested in this? It was about in 2007 when I became first brought on to suspension training with the Artist Strength certification. As soon as I learned a lot about the certification of Artist Strength training, it incorporates many different aspects. One of them is suspension training. And I took this back to where I was a collegiate coach, strength coach, and I started implementing this into our college athletes. We started noticing that our knee alignments were great. We had great elements with that. We were healing. We had better body control, flexibility. We had strength through an entire range of motion, which is extremely important for athletics. And the big thing, rehabilitation. So we got to find a need. Why do we need to look at this? Well, one interesting research that I found was about 5 years ago, they did a 1-year study of an area high school, not here area, but an area where they were from, I believe in the Northeast, of 100 high schools, 9 different sports. They had 4,350 injuries in 1 year. Of those 4,350, 2,298 involved the lower extremity. Of those 2,298, 25% involved the knee. I think the next highest was 40% actually, and that was the ankle. Then it kind of trickled down to 10% for quad injury, and then you got lower and lower as you went around with the lower extremity. But one thing that I've noticed is, has anybody had a knee injury before? You just walked away from, yeah, and we all have had some type of injury. His was, I know, was bad. He had it just scoped recently. So what does that do? It increases cost and time, doesn't it? Time for rehab, money out of your pocket. So my purpose for all this is to look at the effect of suspension training for knee stability and strength. Methodology. Well, how am I going to look at this? I'm going to hopefully employ, I'll put that in quotes, high school female basketball players. We all know the rates with high school and females on knee injuries. There's research out there that it's almost twofold on injuries versus males in knee injuries. Most people got that from many different physiology classes. I'm going to do a pre and post test of 3 consecutive jumps, where I'm doing 3 consecutive jumps on the left and the right. What that's going to measure is not only knee stability for that landing, but also explosive power on the takeoff. Okay? And then that next one is electromyographic, the EMG, and we're going to combine that with the force plate. Picture of it right there to the right, that's EMG combined with the force plate. That's what we're going to look at. I'll have them, of course, not walking like this representation is. It's going to be in a lunge position or in a squat position. Also, I'm going to end up using an ergo power machine for knee flexion and extension. And all this is going to be squat and lunge heavy. All the variations involve squat and lunges. So here's my review of LIP. What I've found out. Pretty neat looking picture right there. That's actually using the EMG on I believe that they were testing the activation of the core on push movements. Did it change with angle, through angle decreasing, increasing? So what I found on suspension training emphasis, they were gun-ho heavy on plank and static movements, and push and pull movements. They wanted to know nothing but the core. How's the core activating? Not once out of 70 some odd articles I read did they ever mention knee or lower extremity stability. When I searched alone for knee and lower body stabilities, this is what I got. Their tool of choice, Bosu ball, Dynadisc, Swiss ball, stability ball, whatever you want to call it, pictured there on the right. You see that lady's hooked up to the EMG total body movement right there they're testing. So that's what they were emphasizing. They didn't want to use suspension training, they used these unstable devices that I just mentioned. So this is why there's a need for this research. So far from what I've seen, I could be the first one to look at the athletic enhancement of suspension training with lower limb stability and strength. The fitness enthusiasts will go nuts over this. People, the everyday weekend warriors, that they have those weight-bearing exercises and they can finally take a load off, use their own body weight for once. And the rehabilitation factor, which is a big, big, big calling for suspension training. So what's next for me? Getting a grant, number one. I'm in the process right now of working through an IRB. We're working with Dr. Byers pretty heavily on this right now, working to get a research grant for the fall semester. Hopefully this time next year I'll have a plethora of data on knee stability and suspension training, because right now, from what I've seen of the 70 some odd research articles I've been combing through for the past 4 months, there has been absolutely zero research done on this, and that's why I'm extremely excited to be a pioneer in this. I gotta look at this picture again. I actually love it. This is using a thick grip barbell that you can see held up there at the top in a lunge position working. This lady is 53 years old, so don't sit there and say, oh, only the young guns can do this.
She's older than me.
No disrespect.
She's older than me.
She's older than Dr. Snow, so I'm covered. Almost stuck my foot in my mouth, right? So we're covered on that. I don't know. It's something that would work, right? He's much
Good.
younger.
Much younger. I was gonna say,
Much,
don't
much
even go
younger.
there.
He's about my age. We're about the same age.
30 something, 33.
Well,
He's
so
older.
here are my references out of all this. I got, my goodness, y'all. I pulled up roughly, let me get this adapter to work here. Oh, we got this. I love technology. Well, the next 6 slides are references. Any questions, comments, anything you got?
So what is she actually doing in that picture? Is she strengthening the mobility of her knees?
What's she saying here? Hip, knee, abdominal, shoulders,
So she
entire
just
shoulder,
stands
total body.
back up and then,
Exactly. I don't care. We're in here in this position. Pretend this is lower. So we're going to drop into that.
yeah,
You're grabbing right out of it.
oh, okay.
There's the lunge. Now you're working with this right here, swinging back and forth.
Okay.
So now you got to really concentrate on that core.
Instead of just like resting your foot on the bench.
Yeah, that resting the foot on the bench, that's elementary to this right here. But yeah, I understand what you mean. I would love to have this thing set up in here. I pondered everywhere where I could hang it off the rafters, something, and it just wouldn't happen. Anybody else?
With your methodology study with the female basketball players,
Yeah,
were you looking to use athletes that had no injury history, or?
I was looking at it all because I'm going to do a pre and post test, and I'll have each of those athletes pre and post to see if, if there was an injury, I can already see it right there. And then the post test, we're going to see if that injury, if it heals. So, yeah, good question on that.
Would your results kind of go based off of the severity of the injury?
Yes, we could do that for sure. That's some good question, yeah. Perfect. Anybody else?
You're just doing basketball players?
For right now, just using high school basketball players just to keep a concise study. Eventually, it depends on how the study works. I'd love to broaden it out to just signing up anybody, posting that through the email system. And
So why high school, not college?
high school, I like the age group. That's where a lot of people, as a strength coach, I've coached now for close to 10 years, and you see the incoming freshman, and however many in here has been the coach, you see these incoming freshmen that are coming in from college, from high school. Their technique is just pitiful. They have bad stability and all these other deficiencies. And so that's why I want to focus on this high school group, twofold. Number one, to get the survey, get the results. Number two, help them. Especially coming out of there, they're going to learn how to move better and feel better, and their athletic career can hopefully be prolonged. And if they're not going to go on to college, then just life in general will be better. Good? Thank you.